We're going to talk about the story of Job in the Bible. See, and this is why the first thing I thought about when I was thinking this is I love it because some of you guys have never been exposed to this. You think Job is a job. You see I know I got some arrogant church people. They're like, it's Job, not job. It's because you're lucky enough and been blessed enough to know what Job is. It's not, so it's job, J-O-B in the Bible. Some of you read it as job. I get it. I feel you. I'm right there with you. Okay? But it's Job. It's the book of Job. It's this story. Yeah, Job went through a lot. You guys know the story of Job? You guys know the story of Job, right? I think some of you do. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you guys like it? Let me see. What do you think about it? Tell me something about it. You guys like it? Job. Some of you need to get a job. You need to get a job. Yeah, that's why you don't know Job, but you need to go get a job. That's the feel of. That's the first part. It's standing out to some of you today. Job was tested. So I'm going to tell you this. This is why I'm talking about this, because I was listening to some pastor yesterday, and honestly, I was like, dude, everybody has the story of Job ass backwards. I feel like we've misinterpreted the story of Job for a really, really long time. Honestly. So that's why I said, this isn't finished. I could keep going. Spotify's ripping. Is there noobs? Is there news on it? No, I think it's going up. But I think a lot of people got it wrong. So here's the title for this is the title. This is the title for your thing. I want to talk to you about Job because let me remind you all, because how many of us, when we hear this story, you guys think about, so here's the story of Job. Was this guy, he was really good, he was blameless. That's a key factor. He was blameless, he was really rich, he did very, very good. And then God was kind of flexing, and he was like, look how good my servant is. Look how good my servant is to the devil. And the devil is like, yeah, it's only because you gave him everything. Devil was like, let me mess him up. That's it. He said, let me get this guy then. And then we'll see if he really likes you. So God said, okay. That's why some people would say God tormented him, God tested him, whatever it may be. But he went through all of these things. And then he eventually, things got really, really bad. And he ended up getting, everything. He lost his house. Imagine being really, really rich. Honestly, imagine you get your dream house. You have everything you could ever ask for. And then you get cancer. And then you go bankrupt, you lose your business. All of his kids died. It's like cruel. Honestly, it's like cruel. That's why I think it's funny, because we've been talking about this concept of it pleases the Lord, and we've said, is that cruel or not? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. But you said life insurance. It was crazy how it did it. But this is why I'm saying this is the funny part. And this is, so let me tell you guys the story. Are you ready? Or the key. You are not Job. I need to remind people that. The key is you are not Job. Everybody reads this story and they take it and they're like, oh, look at what Job did. You're being tested. The devil is testing you. You're going through all of this stuff and it's going to work out and it's going to be good. And like, this is it. Yes, it's the plot twist. You are not Job. I was listening to this and it pissed me off. Cause this is wild. At the end of the day, every time something bad happens, anytime somebody's going through a struggle, anything, honestly, everybody wants to say, I'm Job. The devil's, I'm Job. You ain't Job. It's God probably. And you got to have faith and it's not that bad. So how do I know you're not Job? There's one way I know. It's very simple. That's why I said the story of Job, I have a different interpretation that I'm going to share with you guys today. It's very simple. I told you the story. Devil was hating, because he was so good. That was the key with him. He was so good. But this is the key. Job was blameless. Yeah, exactly. It's not included in there for no reason. It's literally, it explains so much about the blamelessness of Job. How this guy was actually perfect to a degree. So however God made him, he was a businessman. He was successful. He had a lot of things, but he was an upright individual. He was literally blameless. Okay? That's what I was telling you guys yesterday. It's like, I'm not Hunter. I'm not a hunter out there, but I wouldn't say I'm blameless. Fuck no. I could never. And amen. And God bless God. And thank you for everything. You see, because I'm not blameless. And most of you aren't either. And if you think you are, humble yourself. But I think a lot of people take the meaning wrong. I think a lot of people, they see a bad thing happen. They see Job, and then it's just like, okay, I'm going to pray to God, and then that's it, or everything's going to work out. And it's not practical, honestly. You see what I'm saying? I don't share these philos with you like I told you guys. I want practicality. Like, how are you going to listen to these? That's what I was saying. Like, you don't like what I talk about? What I listen to imaginary stories from 2,000 years ago, and it helps me to live my life in a practical, responsible manner. I'm sorry that is so destructive to you. Let me be a little kid. I'm a little kid. I'm sorry. I believe it. I'm sorry. I believe Jonah and the whale, all of that, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to hurt you because I use it practically. How can I apply this to myself? How can I apply this to my life, my situation? So with Job, the point is, you can be like Job, but you're not Job. I hope you know. So what started happening, again, he's blameless. None of you are blameless, but this is what started happening in this story. So he was a good, blameless guy. Imagine a guy better than any of us in here could be. He was rich, successful, all of that. And then all of these bad things start happening. Literally, all of his kids died. All of his animals died. He lost his property. He got like sores on his skin. Got a deathly sickness. Nobody even wanted to be around him. He went from rags to riches, but from riches down to rags. His wife died, everything. So what started happening? This is where the blameless part comes in. Because his friends kept coming up to him. You see, and then his friends kept talking to him, and they're like, dude, what did you do? They're like, you must have done something to piss God off. You must have done something like this. They were literally, his wife was even telling him, you should curse God. Like, why would you even believe in God at this point? Like, are you serious? Like, look at what's happening. They said, go die. They literally told him, go die. They said, take your L, realize that this is your life now, and go sit in your corner, and then that's it. But like, why would you ever, like, what are you hoping for? Why are you exciting? Do you not see what just happened to you? That's what, that is funny. But then he was even arguing with them. He's like, no, like, I didn't do anything. And he's like, he said, I'm a blameless person. Like, I stand by what I did. And he said, I know God in this. He would even ask God why all this. But at the end of the day, he stood by what he is. Yeah, it does sound like real life. Amen. He kept worshiping God, but he had questions too. He was like, God, like, this is like, oh man, like, do you hear me? All this stuff. But what were his friends saying? That's how the whole story goes. His friends keep coming back to him every time something bad would happen. And they would tell him, dude, you did something. His friends would tell him, you brought this upon yourself. They said, we don't know why. We don't know how. You brought this upon yourself. That's it. They didn't believe him. I love this, though. Because, again, you are not Job. But you could be like Job, and you're probably going to experience that. So do you get the point in that concept? Here's my point. It's very simple. Like you said, this sounds like real life. You're right. It's very, very simple. The point is how people will still condemn you even if you're blameless. So in that situation, He was blameless, and they were still saying that. So you are not Job. You are not blameless. So how are you going to be treated regardless anyways? You're going to get the same thing. People won't, even if you were blameless, they would tell you you deserved it. They would tell you you brought this upon yourself. They would tell you there's no point of even believing in God, believing in positivity, or why would you expect anything? That's if you're blameless. So if they'll say that to you when you're blameless, then this is the point is, you're not Job. You could be like Job. How are you going to react in the influence of other people? How are you going to let other people's ideas or other people's comments of your circumstance shape what you believe and what you do? Honestly, at the end of the day, all that matters is what God thinks. And that's what just leads to the same thing in the final point with it. He still praised God. So this is the whole thing I took it out of it. It's like you're not Job. You are not blameless. You can't be Job. It's interesting. I'm not here to explore the concept. Why did God allow this? Why did this? Honestly, it's interesting. But God made him. God had a purpose if it pleases the Lord, but he's still stuck by it. So that's the point. You can't be blameless, but you could have the same level of faith and belief. That's where people say you could be like Job, it'd be like Job. Or they say people think you are Job, but no, you could hold that same faith, but it's understanding your realm and do the comparison. He was blameless. How did they view his faith? He had every right to do what he did, yet the external situation and the people around him all made up their mind about him and gave that decision for him. And they said, this is who you are. This is what's going to happen in your life. And he was blameless. They had no right to do that. So you kind of are in a weird situation because some of you, you could take the blame. That's what happens. That's where we all get clapped. Because now when our friends come up to us and say something, now when you're going through a situation, you got a little, now you're like, damn, you're an easier target for the devil. You see that? The devil didn't come, but that's the point. Are you really being targeted by the devil? No, you're not blameless. You're not perfect. God, the devil didn't want you. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not like you were, if anything, it's probably something in your life that God is shaping you. And regardless, you could have that level of faith, and you have to understand from Job's scenario, regardless of the situation, whether you deserve it or not, they're going to judge you. They're going to tell you you're wrong, and they're going to tell you not to believe what you believe, and they're going to tell you to go die. Personally. But I hope you guys get that concept. I love it. I really do. Because you're not going to be blameless. So you can still have that same level of faith. And that's where I want to make sure you guys just don't get caught up with the other side, in the sense that, like I'm saying, the doubt. And honestly, that the next point is doubt. The only way the devil is going to get you, I mean, I have another philo for you. I'll give it to you. It has to do with the enemy, the battle. But more so, it's just doubt. That's the only thing. You see, the difference between you and Job, he didn't have a reason to doubt. That's it. He knew what he did. He doubted a little bit. But at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, he knew because what he did is actually, he's like, I didn't do anything. He's like, I praise my God. I live my life. I love it. I did not cheat anybody. So he knows. But doubt is the only time that you're going to lose those situations. The only time you're not going to be like Job is when you give in to the doubt, when the other people are there, and that's it. That's how you get it. If at any moment, the minute you stop believing for one little second, it's space. You guys realize that? It's space. Right now in your mind, it's filled with positivity. If you're on the same page as me, you're thinking about positive things. You expect something good to happen. You say, even if I don't see it, I know it. I know I'm on the right path. I'm saving money. I got the long term, everything. Imagine this, your brain is filled up volume-wise. It's filled. The minute you stop believing that, it starts to leak out of there. And there's an open space. What happens then? The space must be filled. It's not going to be filled with nothing. It's going to be filled with doubt. That's all it comes down to. And that's where you start to get clapped. When you start to doubt, when you see it, and then you don't really believe what you believe. You're doubting because then you're like, well, did I really I bet a lot on this. I started living my life like this. I started doing this, but now I'm not really seeing it. That's the difference. And the doubt is going to come through people, and the doubt is going to come through your past actions. That's what that story shows us. The people brought him the doubt. He had to make his decision. He had to fight with people. His life, the result of his life, what he saw in front of him was bringing doubt, but he knew what he did in the past. You see? So, it's the doubt part is important. That's what I'm telling you. You're not Job. So some of you are going through stuff. Really, I don't think the devil's singling you out. I don't think the devil's trying to attack you. You're not that blameless to begin with. The question is, how much space is there for doubt? In your mind now, is it filled with positivity or is it filled with negativity and doubt? Because it's filled with something. There's no such thing as it not being filled. But that's the question. And even then, I hope you realize that point with Job. It touches me. Because I'm like, damn, it's so true. Job had every reason to do whatever he wanted. In a weird way. His friends, the people around him, what were they telling him? You deserved it. He was blameless. So you could see it. And so that's why what you believe in your mind, what you believe internally is very, very important. And I hope you guys figure that out now. You see, that's even what I'm telling you with a lot of this. That's what I was saying with the stuff. You can send me this, do that. Just don't. It's not about anybody. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. What do you believe and what do you know? What is your head filled with? Because the minute you give space for something, the other thing will take it away. Something else will fill it. So that's my new interpretation of Job. Like I said, you'll probably hear me talk about this a little bit more because I think it could be dived into a lot deeper. But I think some of the unique factors of how he was blameless, how God was bragging about him in a way, and how it played out with his friends and all that, I think it was meant to give us a juxtaposition for a reason. You are similar to Job and you are different in many ways. However, the external forces like people, they are the same. Isn't that interesting? Whether you were blameless or not, whether you were Jesus or Job, you're still getting crucified. You're still getting clapped by people. You're still getting criticized. So that's the way I look at it. And I think some of you guys be like Job, and it's better because you at least could sit in it. It's a little harder, but a little better at the same time. You may not be blameless, but at least you know you don't have the same target on your back. But then at least you know, even if you were blameless, they were still going to say the same thing to you anyways. So what does it matter? It's between you and God. It's focusing on you and God and what do you have and what do you believe in you. And that is the key. And if you give room to doubt, it will take over. And the minute you give into doubt, you lose the presence of God. I hope you know that. That's what it's saying. Because you cannot have God in a mental space. You cannot have that real power if you are doubting it. You can't see it. Do you get that? So if there's doubt in your mind, doubt in your heart, it's very hard to access something you can't see. Because doubt is going to be like, you can't see it. It's this, it's that. If you take actions on your own all the time, are you come on, dude, who do you consult with? Is it all about you or what's it about? But the doubt is killer. And that's right. I think Job's story was interesting. Some of you say he didn't have doubt, but he did question some things. Or he did it wasn't this servant attitude where he just took it, yes, God, nah, go read it. He would go back and forth. It was difficult. But at the say he didn't, and when it was all said and done, his actions, he didn't doubt. He had faith. But that's what I'm telling you. You guys get the idea, but like I'm telling you, the doubt. Protect the positivity, protect your belief. Be careful of the doubt. Because again, once that gets filled in there, that's what's gonna separate it. But I want some of you to, let's go, take it to the next level. Some of you are gonna be there. For you, it's gonna be the doubt. You can't have it. And again, some of you you are expecting bigger and better, and you want to do bigger and better. You can't do it with doubt. Naturally, you are going to question. Why me? Why this? Why that? I don't understand this. But the doubt of, I know it's going to work out in my favor. I know something better is coming. That's it. I know God is in control. I know I'm chosen. I know it's selected for me. I know that they're going to say something about me, whether I'm blameless or not. I have no doubt in that. That's what Job shows us. I have zero doubt on how other people are going to treat me, whether I'm right or wrong, whether Snapchat hits, whether TLT hits, whether DraftKings loses, and they still acted the same. They're all going to say, this is that, this is it, this isn't that. They're going to do the same thing with you. So what reasonably enough is enough to sway your belief now, honestly? Because if it is people and if it's what is going to sway your belief at that point? Come on, it's not going to be the people. It's not, what else could it be? It's in you. You decide. It's that belief. So, I want you to believe. I want you to understand how Job was different. Not everything is bad for you. And that's why. That's why I don't like the original interpretation of Job, because then we start to doubt when something happens bad to us. We're like, maybe I'm Job. It's like, you're not Job, dude. You weren't this perfect guy that this was that. And there's an advantage in not being perfect. You're not the same target. That's it. He was a target because of how good come on, is that not real life? Job, why did the devil, because what? God was like, yo, look at this. I got dope Job over here. Of course, the devil, isn't that funny how the devil is reflected in humans, right? It's funny how people see someone doing good and they act the same way. Literally, the devil even said, oh, Job is only like that because you gave him a bunch of stuff. It's because he's rich. It's because you gave him this family. You gave him this. You gave him that. You gave him all this. Come on. Why do people do the same thing? Isn't that weird? Jealousy. Envy. God was just like, damn, look at him. That's my guy. So, don't doubt and understand not everything's that bad. You're not being attacked in that same way. But you need a faith and doubt in other people. Those three factors are very, very interlinked and go hand in hand. So I'm reminding you, don't leave any space for doubt. That's all. And they're going to say the same thing to you no matter what. All right? But that is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on the video. You're on mobile. Press hi chat. X out the chat. Hit the thumbs up button. Second link for the Nightly Watch This main channel. First link for the Scribe Alerts Bootcamp and Real Estate course. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Keep it positive and respectful. Colt loves you. I love you. Shout out to the Philo. Shout out all you guys. You guys ready? I hope you're ready. No doubt, baby.